Starting with 7th Street, being built by Martin Construction. We have prepared pay estimate number 17. It's the final pay estimate. The amount is $21,768, which we would recommend payment to Martin Construction for that project.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pay estimate number 17 to Martin Construction in the amount of $21,768.
There's a second.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Dalzell, second by Commissioner Marsh, to approve pay estimate number 17 in the amount of $21,768 to Martin Construction on 7th Street Southwest. Any discussion? Discussion, hearing none.
Commissioner Marsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Dalzell?
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton? Commissioner Biener?
Yes, motion carried.
Next pay estimate we have is for 110th Avenue. It is also the final pay estimate. This one is number 7. The amount is $25,646.08, which would be payable to Jensen Brothers Construction.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pay estimate number 7 on 110th Avenue in the amount of $25,646.08 to Jensen Brothers Construction.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Dalzell to approve pay estimate number 7 in the amount of $25,646.08 to Jensen Brothers Construction on 110th Avenue. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Marsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Dalzell?
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton?
Yes.
Commissioner Biener?
Yes, motion carried.
So the other project that's under active construction, the construction is complete, but we'll still have to have one more pass for 114th Avenue. That'll be presented at that next meeting. We're still resolving some quantities, but the construction's done and it's been approved. We just need to final the quantities, but that'll be done at the next meeting. Same with the seal coat. The project's done. We're just working with the DOT on their final documents. As far as design projects, I'll kind of lump them together. We're getting easements and core permits. This week, I think we got, so far this week, I think we got 7 parcels signed up on different projects and 3 or 4 more parcels pending. So I think we're making pretty good progress on easements. There's always going to be some that are a little more difficult than others, but so far it's going fairly well on the different projects. So I think at the next meeting, I'll try to assign some target dates for bid opening times or dates, but right now we're just a little uncertain on some of these core permits, but I think by next meeting we'll assign some target dates for bid opening dates. Any questions on anything?
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Yeah, thanks.
Gary, do we have utility permits?
No, there's no utility permits this time.
And that's it with the road?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Sally, do you want to kind of go through the list here of election update first?
Sure. I just wanted to give you an update on the election. We did have our canvas board on Monday. They did confirm the election and certify. So those official election results are on our website and they will be posted in next Wednesday's paper. Got that taken care of. All the post-election audits have been done and we are balanced. So I just want to give everybody an update on that.
The first commission meeting in January.
And I just wanted to let you guys know that the 1st of January is Wednesday. So I just wanted you guys to be thinking about the first meeting since we're closed that day. Of course, we don't have to make any decisions today, but it'll have to be either after Thursday or Friday, or it'll have to be the following Monday that we do that first commission meeting of the year. So just keep that in mind.
We might as well decide now. You think Thursday, the next day?
It's fine with me.
You need a motion to do that?
Probably.
I move that we switch the first meeting in January to January 2nd, 9 a.m.
There's a second.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pelton, seconded by Commissioner Dalzell to move the January 1st meeting to January 2nd at 9 a.m. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Okay. Go on to the extension office stipends.
Okay, so in the past years, we have given the 2 extension agents a stipend to bring their salaries up to what they would be if they were a Dunn County employee. This is a practice done by most counties with extension agents. So we don't have any numbers yet. Jim Gray just contacted me and asked me if we would like to continue that throughout 2025. And then we will have some numbers to approve.
Maybe so if we don't have numbers, it's like a consensus that, or do you want a motion?
So Jim is asking that if we're going to continue.
Right, if we're going to continue to give Chris and Kirsten stipends.
But we don't know the number.
We do not know the numbers. He wanted to get the consensus first, see if you guys wanted to do it, and then he will come up with the final numbers.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I agree. And then we would just enter into the MOU and approve that.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
What are everybody else's thoughts?
I'm fine.
Yeah, we're going to need to continue.
I agree. Will, is it too early or are you ready? Okay. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Will.
Morning.
All right, Mr. Chairman and Commission. I apologize in advance if this kind of doesn't make sense or if it needs clarification. I tried my best to kind of explain what I'm here proposing and why I'm proposing it. We've talked throughout the year about a possible restructure in my building and grounds department. This is kind of a generalized direction, and basically how I'll start this is by saying the building and grounds over the past 8 to 10 years has seen exponential growth and demand in what its scope of work has been. So obviously it was a department of 1 and now it's a department of 4, and we are looking to have a clear structure moving forward, and it's basically growing pains of a growing department. And this is my proposal to move forward with a clear hierarchy of how this department could be structured based on your approval. So backing up just a bit, one of the roles that and responsibilities that has kind of come to the forefront that isn't traditionally something that we would do in the building and grounds is handling park business. It's something that the park board and I, as a park board member, have discussed, and we came up with the conclusion that it would be a good move if I resigned from the park board and became more of a director of parks. That's the recommendation of the park board to move forward. I would still be the building and grounds supervisor, but we're looking to house the administrative work, the work that is done with the different agencies that handle park board business, being the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, a liaison, and somebody to handle meeting minutes, agenda, that kind of thing handle the administrative work that was being handled by a separate department prior to now, and that's kind of not in their scope of work anymore. So there is a need for that. That's the first thing. The second thing is there's always been a need where we're currently staffed, completely busy. Our current group of people that are working in my department are busy. And if anybody is gone in that current structure, it makes it very difficult, and it's quite a strain. So basically, to come back to the proposal and what I handed out, the current structure is obviously building and grounds, and then I dictate and oversee the department as a whole. Okay, so there's 2 janitorial workers and a maintenance assistant currently that are full-time. I kind of go through some of the important points on this. Basically, there's issues if you look at this hierarchy in the current structure with if I'm gone or if one of the other people are gone, it really does impact what we're able to accomplish as a department. So in the proposed hierarchy, what I'm proposing, and one of the requests that was made is that I come up with a kind of generalized, what would my department look like if we were to restructure it? So currently, my plan for a hierarchy is to have 2 separate groups, janitorial and maintenance, and have a lead in each of those, almost a supervisory role where they take over certain aspects of the building and grounds department with maintenance and janitorial, and I still supervise but also act as park director to fill in for some of those needs from the park department. My ultimate goal is to continue to grow the park department, and I think if that is going to be part of the goals moving forward, there needs to be a clear person in charge of that area. So those are some of the key things that I wanted to point out. I do have some budget impacts for the new proposal. It will increase department payroll. That was, and I do want to back up too. This is something that I've had in the works for a while, but we've all kind of had to wait and see what the election results were going to be before I came to you and proposed something that may require, changing of the budget. And I didn't want to do that with the election and possible changing of things in general. Increased department payroll. There would be an increase in hourly wage based on the janitorial lead and maintenance lead moving up into a higher pay scale. I met with Desi, and if it means anything to you, A13 and B21 would be where those new positions would land on the pay scale. Okay, so I have done that much. I kind of know where that falls, but I haven't put any actual hard numbers because I wanted to discuss this with you, see if this was something that the commission would be in favor of. Also, hiring an additional full-time maintenance tech to assist the maintenance lead would be my recommendation. And then giving the maintenance lead authority to take home a county vehicle similar to what I have authority to do. Just in the off chance that if they're going to be the maintenance tech lead, that they would have the ability to, in the case of an emergency or whatever, go from home to wherever needs any sort of addressing on the maintenance side of things. So goals is to really provide continued excellence in my department to the county, improve as a team, grow the parks department, have clear defined goals and responsibilities in my department, allow more time for continued education, and to retain our current employees. Then I kind of go through, and it's clear I don't need to go through every point unless there are questions, but we've got 11 properties that we take care of. I have them all listed out there. Some are more than others, obviously. The courthouse is obviously more of a higher responsibility than, say, like the new attic trailer that we end up taking care of from time to time. So I guess it's all relative, but I kind of go through some generalized responsibilities for each of the new areas. And that really encompasses what I'm proposing. I don't know how to go about a motion if you guys are wanting to move forward with a decision like this, but I'm open to questions, and I hope it all makes clear sense. Any questions?
How many more people are you looking at adding? Right?
Just one. One full-time maintenance assistant. And we had kind of talked about that in my budget. I actually proposed this for a possible full-time or part-time person. So it has been approved in my budget, but I wanted to give you a clear outline of what my goals are and what my thoughts are with the department. Without getting into real specifics, I wanted to kind of show you what my thoughts were as best I could on paper. And if they don't make sense, I apologize.
So the janitorial lead and maintenance lead, that would be going to a different pay on the pay scale?
Yes. They would basically, what I'm looking to do is
on your sheet, is that your janitorial worker or the department?
Which sheet are you looking at?
Second.
And like I said, I'm sorry.
So the bottom two people on the list would go higher in the pay scale?
No.
Second
No.
to the bottom.
The leads would end up becoming more of a supervisory role.
Oh.
And what I'm really looking to do is give the maintenance and the janitorial a point of contact besides myself, right? If there's something wrong with the buildings, will I still be involved? Absolutely. But I'm looking to have more than one person as a point of contact, so that if in the case that I or whoever is gone, it provides more than one person to be able to handle the work that needs to be done. It also really improves our succession plan by spreading the supervisory role a little bit besides just myself. I think it definitely gives more people some power to make decisions in the case of people being absent. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, Will, thanks for putting all this together. Very good
You're
job. Part of the lead maintenance tech, are we talking, besides the title tech, we're talking tech as far as IT helping with that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, tech was just the word.
I know.
Yeah, it's just a working title to try and explain the best we could, because you can only have so much like supervisor, director, lead, you know what I mean? So that's a way of basically giving them a title of ownership.
Right.
But go ahead.
My question is, would that person be able to assist us with some of the IT things that we definitely need some help in this building? Well, across the buildings, departments.
And that's something that has evolved. I mean, in 6 months ago, I will tell you honestly, no, that was never part of the deal. But now that we've got a person that's got some experience in that, I definitely see that being housed under our umbrella of department, is being able to assist. And it's slowly kind of taken shape. And that's the other justification for me looking to hire an assistant in maintenance, is because if the lead is handling IT stuff and different, wearing many different hats, that's the crux of this department, is there's many different hats that somebody has to wear, and you have to find very good individuals. And this is also a way for me to try and retain those individuals that are valuable to the county. So yes, to answer your question, Commissioner Dalzell, is it yes? I see that being part of the scope of responsibility.
Mr. Chairman, I kind of like the proposal he's put forth. I don't know if the rest of you want to, consider it further, or have Will and Desi put together some of the costs or impacts and bring it back to us at the next meeting.
Yeah, I'm not against it, but I'd like to know more about it and kind of know where the numbers are going to be at. Desi.
Yeah, I know that there is, without getting into specifics, there will be an increase in hourly based on the what does she call it, the DVM or DVM model. So there are some of those things, and she gave me those numbers, and if we need to flesh out exact numbers, I'm okay with that. I will say that I know we're in the midst of a new year. I know we're in the midst of a different commission taken. The reason I'm here, I would have been here the day after the election, but I felt like that was too soon. So I gave it a couple, 2 weeks, but I'm really looking for direction here. I know I will provide direction to my department, but I would like to have my proposal either approved or not, simply from the standpoint of that my department needs to have a goal or an outlook moving forward. So I don't want to push anybody, but I do want you to understand that I'm really looking to run with this January 1st and start with this in mind. I'm not sure if hiring a full-time employee right away, I don't see myself doing that, but at least having a framework to where when I talk to my employees and say, this is where we're headed, that it's approved, and that because I've hinted at this for 6 months, and I really would like to have a clear answer if possible.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not against it. Just got to absorb it and try to, you got to know the numbers too. So like just the techs or the two leads are going to go up in wages. Is yours going to change?
That I didn't even, Desi was, she was right before she was leaving. She did this kind of as a favor to run through the DMB to kind of get an idea, because I didn't know where we were going to fall. Haven't even looked at where I'm at. Haven't even, and in fact, I'm okay if I stay where I'm at. I just simply want.
It's part of the equation. We got to know.
True, 100%.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what the numbers game, like, what does that do to your department? Does everybody, I mean, like how, because you're kind of changing the structure of it.
Exactly. And that's
not saying it's bad, but we got to know the details, the small details.
Agreed. And that's really why I'm here too, is to be transparent about what my goals are and to get a clear framework laid out. So
what is everybody else's thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, so we did put into your budget, was approved for an additional person already.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So if that is something, depending on how things go, like you mentioned, it may not be something we do right away.
Right.
And see how things go. The money is there for these adjustments already. And whether we decide to go with an additional person, say in 4 or 5 months, whatever. By doing this, changing the structure to the lead techs and their DBM changing, that money's already in his budget. So I guess, I'm fine with waiting till the next meeting. And I guess one other thing I wanted to say, when you talk about the election, you're talking about Measure 4.
Measure 4.
Yeah.
That was 100. If Measure 4 wouldn't have been on the table and there wouldn't have been real risk at the county level being changed 100%, and then me adding another wrench, and I would never have waited this long. Yeah. I would have put this forth way before that. But yeah, and the way I see it is when we really ramp up and there's a demand on time for the maintenance department is when the grass starts really, really growing. So June, July, those guys have always been on a mower. Well, with 2 mowers, that definitely changes their work. And so I probably wouldn't move forward with that second maintenance person until, summer, spring, And maybe that person is a seasonal until I find the right person. Because if I open it and there's not the right fit, I don't want to hire someone until I find that person. So it could be a temporary position or a seasonal position for the whole next year. So I just want to make sure that that's clear as well.
Yeah, and again, I'm not against that because that was in your budget, but now you're taking everybody else and kind of going to different levels.
Right.
So how does that look?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. You had somebody else hired, but now you just want to take everybody else and put structure to it.
Yep. A hierarchy of how the department operates, and then make that widely known so that if another department needs assistance and I don't pick up my phone or whatever, they've got contact information, and everybody should be able to communicate with one another. So
You probably have enough money in your budget right now. Too.
yes,
Right, yeah,
I do.
I think.
I think you can go ahead and run your.
I agree. It's in the budget now. It would come down to whether we feel it's justified to add another person, either seasonal or full-time, down the road.
Yeah.
The other thing I like about this is the succession part of it. That's something in our strategic plan, and we've all agreed that's important, and we should have that. And to have the right person to be able to step in case you decide to go to work at McDonald's or something.
I know it has been a risk. Yeah.
I think too, if that gives you have a fairly new person on, so that gives you time to adjust where that person best fits your situation. So, 3 months from now, when you need a seasonal person or whatever, that gives you some time to adjust all that.
Yep, it does. And the other thing too is it provides a framework that maybe in the near future there's a need for, and who knows what the additional impact may or may not be. At least there's a hierarchy of where that person may fit in this current setup, instead of just we need another person. Well, in what way? And in what avenue do they fit? This helps kind of delineate that a lot more clear.
Mr. Chairman, I think, do we need a motion right now or just?
I think you can just go ahead and run it.
Go ahead and,
he's got the money there.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as like the park board, I know that they'll probably we felt like if I'm going to be acting as answering to the park board and having their marching orders, so to speak, even though I was a park board member, me stepping down and filling that with another person starting in January. So as long as we're covered by that, like it doesn't require a motion, and then I would wear that different hat, so to speak, with the park director. And that includes handling basically it's running the campground, handling all the calls, running web reserve, all the other things that are involved in that we're being handled by someone else that, now falls on us. So as long as everybody's aware of that and that does impact me moving forward, it is something that my department has kind of enveloped. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. And if we're good, I'll do my thing and we'll just continue to do it. So, okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Will.
Yep.
Sarah, are you online?
I'm pulling into the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We'll do vouchers until you get here.
Do you know what the repairs to the weed building were for? 500 roughly. Under buildings. Okay. Okay. But, oh. Okay, thank you.
I believe that's that one.
Schmidt, yeah. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the vouchers
Is there a second?
presented.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Dalzell, second by Commissioner Marsh to approve the vouchers. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Marsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Dalzell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaner.
Yes, motion carried. Sarah?
Good morning, Commission. How are you today?
Good.
I just would like to come before you about rescinding the total burn ban requests that we had put in place first part of October when the wildfires went out, and then revert back to the restrictions as we had established in April. So. And that is, I have discussed it with
Yeah. that
the
was my
fire
question,
chiefs.
yeah.
So.
Questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we rescind our current burn ban and revert back to the burn ban we had before we put that in place.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Marsh to rescind the total burn ban, go back to the restrictions we put on in April. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
I will get it printed out for you to sign that, Cody, and then
Rob.
I'll update all the state websites today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Marsh, seconded by Commissioner Dalzell to adjourn. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
It's a record.